Now, Lil Uzi Vert, we need to talk about a couple of things regarding this man. The delay of Eternal Take, which is his forthcoming album, has been a nightmare for Uzi fans. I'd like to call myself an optimist, but with how things are looking right now, I'm not even sure that it's ever gonna come out. One of my subscribers sent me this GQ interview Uzi recently did where he talked about a couple of things, and one of these things really upset a lot of Lil Uzi Vert fans, so let's check out what he said. He starts off by saying, "I like making music and I like making people happy." Uzi then continues and says, "But the music is whatever, bro. I really do it just to make my family happy. Like, it's just something for my family to talk about." I had a little back and forth with one of my subscribers in my Instagram DMs regarding this entire situation. He felt like Uzi was betraying him by saying what he said, and I wanted to give my, thoughts on this whole thing. First of all, let's just acknowledge one thing, man. Uzi has not had an easy time in the music industry. He's went through so much BS to the point where I feel sorry for him. He started making music because he loved creating, and now it seems like the business side of things has crushed his entire purpose of making music. Obviously, business always comes with the territory, but I think what Uzi's been through is a little more than that. Him saying that he makes music for his family now tells me one thing and one thing only: his priorities have changed. I say this for a very particular reason because on another part of this interview he says this: "Honestly, in my heart, I think I do this better than music, because the music shit is effortless. I actually take my time with this." When he said this, he's of course talking about fashion, which is, if you know anything about Uzi, one of his biggest passions in life, if not his biggest, because it looks like music is number 2 on his priority list. Let me tell you one thing, okay? I've never personally felt entitled to get music from any of my favorite rappers. I love what they do, I listen to their music, I appreciate their art, but at the end of the day, I leave it at that. In this day and age, it's not easy being an artist in the music industry. The game is saturated like crazy. The demand for new music is so sky high to the point where these artists are afraid of taking a little 2-month break from releasing anything because they fear being forgotten. Now obviously in Uzi's case, it's been way over 2 months. We're talking more like 2 years now, I get it. But put yourself in his shoes for a second. Try looking at it from his perspective. Trust me when I say this, Uzi is most likely dreading releasing Eternal Take at this point. No matter how good the album turns out to be, fans won't be satisfied because they've been waiting for such a long time. The album has been put on such a high pedestal to the point where meeting the expectations people have of it is close to impossible, and Lil Uzi Vert is feeling the pressure heavy. He's feeling the pressure so heavy to the point where the very thing that got him to where he is today is not in the focus anymore. Let me tell you one thing, man. For these past few weeks, I've been getting a lot of nasty messages from XXXTentacion fans. You might wonder why. What exactly have I said about X that I've gotten a lot of, fans mad? See, the thing is, I haven't said anything really, except for do not support any posthumous music that's getting released under X's name. I've been saying that because I see through the BS. I see how badly X's legacy is getting tarnished by these half-ass releases that the whole industry is gonna be featured on because the album was never complete. And there's a lot of X fans out there who despise me for speaking out against what I personally think on a moral level is not right. But how come I'm a fan of X's music and I don't even want to hear more of it? Well, because I'm putting his legacy over my need and want for new music. At the end of the day, man, none of us are experiencing what Uzi is experiencing. To an extent, does he have a responsibility to supply his supporters with music? Yes, of course he does, but not at the expense of his own happiness. Who are you to decide what he needs to do? No one forced you to become a fan of him, so he doesn't owe you anything. This whole thing of fans feeling entitled, actually I don't even want to call these people fans. I mean, this is stans, okay? That's what it is. This whole thing of stans feeling entitled is just toxic on a whole nother level. It makes these artists go insane. It makes them pop all kinds of pills just so they can cope with the anxiety that comes with this entire industry. No wonder all these rappers are sad and depressed all the time. I mean, it's a constant battle of them trying to please their fans, but at the same time not losing themselves in the process, which let's just keep it real, it's impossible. People never seem to be satisfied. There's always gonna be, something to complain about. And that's why Uzi can go on Twitter, open up to the world about how his grandmother is dying, and people are still asking about Eternal Take on that same tweet. Like that right there, that's the reality of things here. That's how people treat their so-called favorite rapper. I mean, just look at this. This is just crazy. Like the title says, it's not looking good for Lil Uzi Vert. The pressure is rising. Music doesn't seem to be his number 1 focus anymore, and his fans aren't too happy about it. What do you think? Let's have a discussion about this.